Hi everyone, and welcome back to another lesson in Module 1. Today we're going to be doing Lesson 4, which is representing functions. Our essential question today will be what are relations and when are relations functions? And our target will be to graph relations and identify when they are functions. So what is a relation? A relation is any set of ordered pairs. They can be written as a set. They can also be written in the form of graphed. They can be graphed as well. The domain of a relation represents the x values representing the input, and these are known as the independent variable. Now these are independent because they are put in and then they determine the output, which are known as the y values. And the y values, or the output, are dependent on the independent variable, the input. Now, a function is a type of relation in which each domain element is paired with only one range element. This means that all functions are relations, but not all relations are functions. Moving on, determine which of these mapped relations are functions, and then state the domain and range. So as we can see here, each x value is going to a unique y value output. So this would make it a function. The domain are all the possible x values that have been used, and the range are all the possible y values that have been used. Now over here, we see it's a similar situation. However, the difference here is that the 3x value goes to the 6 and the 2x value also goes to the 6. So they map to the same y value. Now this still makes it a function because it's okay to reuse y values to different x values. Okay? It's as long as the x values are unique, that's okay. So the domain are all the x values that we used, which are all of the ones listed. And the range is 5, 6, and 8. Now the reason we skipped the 7 is because we did not use the 7. There's no arrow going to the 7 here. Now over here the x value maps to, the x value 2 maps to two different y values. Or you could also just say multiple, more than one. That's a better terminology. So 2 goes to both 6 and 7. This is not a function, okay? The individual x value can only go to one y value. It can't go to 2, or it is not a function. So the domain here is 1, 2, and 4 because we didn't use the 3. And the range is 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's move on. Oops, let's erase this. Forgot to erase it from the last time I did it. Okay. So determine which of these set relations are functions and then state the domain and range. So over here, we have all unique x values to all unique y values. That's an easy one. That is a function. And my domain is going to be 1, 2, and 3. And my range is going to be 2, 4, and 7. Over here, we have unique, unique, unique. Oh, here we have the same x value. So now we want to look at the y values. So remember, every x value has to go to unique, only one y value. Well, these y values are the same, so it does only go to one unique y value. This is just the same point written twice. So yes, this one is still a function. This one throws people off, so just be careful and check and see if the y values are the same. If the y values are the same, then it is still a function. So I'm just going through my domain here. We don't have a 4 in the domain. So 1, 2, and 3, and then my range is 2, 4, and 7. Now over here, we have unique x, unique x, unique x, and then we have a repeating x. Now what you'll notice about the y values that correspond to that repeating x, they're different. Those are different x values. So this one is not a function, but relations can still have domains and ranges. So I'm going to list it out. That's going to be 1, 2, and 3. And my range is going to be 2, 4, 7, and 3. So 2, 3, 4, and 7. You want to write these in increasing order if possible. Now we're going to talk about the vertical line test. So what we essentially did was we talked about what constitutes a function being a function and not just being a relation. And to view this, the same thing we just did looking at numbers, graphically we use what we call the vertical line test. So the vertical line test is a test that shows if a relation graph is a function. A graph represents a function if and only if all vertical lines intersect the graph only once. So this right here is a function. This is a quadratic function actually. And this right here is not a function because see how we cross the relation twice with the vertical line. So if you can draw a vertical line anywhere on your graphic representation and it goes through more than one point, it is not a function, even if it only happens once. So when I look at this plot here, nothing's connected. I see here that if I draw a vertical line right here, for example, I hit 2 points. Now if I drew one here or here or here, it would have been fine, but because I hit 2 points when I draw a vertical line somewhere on my graph, this is not a function. Okay? Now over here, there's nowhere that I can draw a vertical line. That would mean that I would hit 2 points at once, or more than one. So this one is a function. Now this is linear. We'll just say what that is. And if this goes on forever in both directions, I can draw a vertical line anywhere on this graph going from positive and negative infinity, and it's never going to have an instance where I'm going to cross more than one point on that line. So it is a function. Now over here, this looks like a cubic function. It doesn't look like I am going to have a chance where the vertical line is going to cross more than one point on the function. So we're going to say that this is a function. Now here, this looks like a cubed root function. And as you can see here, when I draw a vertical line, this one easily you can see that you cross actually 3 points. So this one is not a function. Now this looks like a quadratic. Now you don't have to fill these in, but could be helpful. And this would be a square root function or relation. So over here, if I draw a vertical line anywhere on my quadratic relation, I can see that it is a function because it's not going to pass more than one point on my line. But over here, this is a square root relation, which is essentially the same thing as the quadratic function, but it is rotated. This is not a function. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions for me, and have a great day. Bye.